Welcome to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Now here's your host, Tim McMahon.
Hey, it's Friday! That means it's time for our weekly recap and review of all the Star Wars headlines that grabbed my attention this week, and then I'll share a quick thought or opinion about each one. No time for anything deeper, because this is Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Hey, but before I jump into the news, I just want to apologize for the lack of posts lately. I've just been wicked busy, as we say here in New England. A lot of family stuff going on, but I promise starting today and moving forward, I'll be back on track. So for this week's news, I'm going to try and stay away from any news that came out of Star Wars Celebration, but let's see what's come out since then. Speaking of Star Wars Celebration, one of the things that surprised me was that there was no announcement for the next standalone movie after the Young Han Solo movie. Hey, not even a title for the Young Han Solo movie. Well, according to Kathleen Kennedy, we could be getting that announcement later this summer. D23, the big Disney convention, I really don't know much about it other than it's Disney and, well, Disney owns everything these days. They'll be having their party this summer in July, so maybe, just maybe, we'll get that announcement then. But speaking of the next standalone movie, there's hopes. A lot of people are hoping for a standalone Obi-Wan movie. Well, Ewan McGregor spoke to Entertainment Weekly this week and he said, quote, "There's no official offer and I haven't met with them about it or anything," unquote. I don't know, folks. I think if they were about to announce an Obi-Wan movie in July, which is really not that far away, they would have talked to Ewan McGregor by now. I guess we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. My money's going for the Boba Fett / Bounty Hunter movie. What say you? Hey, and speaking of standalone movies, a video from Omaze this week, hosted by Warwick Davis, telling you about all the great things you can win if you give to Omaze, featured directors Philip Lord and Christopher Miller, who are directing the Han Solo movie. And in that film, we got our first sneak peek at a brand new Star Wars alien. This harkens back to the J.J. Abrams Omaze video from before The Force Awakens, and we saw that little peddler guy with the backpack that had all the birds in it and things. I really should take the time to learn his name and species. Anyway, no name yet for this new character, other than he's got 6 eyeballs, humanoid. I've heard people call him Re-Yees as a spoof on Re-Yees, but we'll see. Personal opinion, looked cool, looked amazingly cool, but again, it's another humanoid. I'm a fan of aliens that aren't just people with masks, but that's me. Hey, and speaking of masks, well, speaking of faces anyway, did you notice that Kylo Ren's scar in the new Last Jedi trailer is not quite in the same place that his scar was at the end of The Force Awakens? Yeah, a lot of people noticed that and were wondering, hey, what's up with that? Well, turns out that Rian Johnson just didn't think the scar looked good in the place we last saw it, so he moved it over a couple inches. You know what? I agree with him. It looks better now over his eye, very rakish and roguish. But I'm a fan of continuity, and this just, this bothers me at a molecular level inside. I can't explain it other than I'm a nerd, and these little things just nitpick at me. Hey, speaking of little things, it's been announced that Star Wars Rebels Season 4, which we all know is going to be the last season, is actually only going to be 16 episodes, and it's going to be one giant story arc, according to Dave Filoni. 16 episodes. I thought, wow, that's a lot less than we've been getting, so I went back and checked. Actually, Season 1 was only 14 episodes. Season 2 was 20, Season 3 was 21, and we're going to wrap it up with 16 episodes. The more I think about this, the more I am saddened by the fact that Star Wars Rebels is coming to an end. I mean, I can get it. I see where the storyline's going, and I see it needs to come to an end, but man, I'm going to miss these guys. But you know what I'm not going to miss? I'm not going to miss a trip to Star Wars Land at Disney World. I'm going. Saving my pennies now. I may not be there in 2019, but definitely soon after. Well, it was announced this week that it's not just going to be Star Wars Land in the park. No! Disney's actually building a Star Wars resort. I don't think anything official has come out yet, but that's what all the rumors and the leaks online are saying, so I believe it. A whole luxury resort that is as if you're living in Star Wars. Wow, that's going to be awesome. And I keep hearing the word luxury, so it makes me think this is going to be one of their more costly places on the Disney parks to stay. So man, I gotta get a third job. I gotta get a fourth job to pay for this stuff because I want to do this so bad, and I want to go not just for a weekend. I want to go for weeks and weeks upon weeks. Anyway, those are all the headlines that grabbed my attention this week. If I missed anything, if there's anything you thought was noteworthy that I should have talked about, I want to know. Email me at 12parsecs.podcast@gmail.com or connect with me on any of my social media accounts. All the links can be found on my website, 12parsecs.podcast.com. Thanks for listening. Utini!
You've been listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, part of the expanded Fandomverse network of shows. For links and show notes, visit our website, TwelveParsecsPodcast.com. Follow Less Than 12 Parsecs on Twitter at 12parpod, on Instagram at 12ParsecsPodcast, on Tumblr at 12ParsecsPodcast, and find us on Facebook as well. And please let us know what you think. Email us at 12ParsecsPodcast@gmail.com.